Okay guys, I'm going to show you my version of rebuilding your battery pack because I searched on YouTube and they all seemed a little bit different than what I was coming across. This is a Porter Cable lithium ion battery. This is the 18 volt version, not the 20. So this is the one that's already been rebuilt. Actually, this is just the casing. But you take these 4 bolts out. On my application, this is a T10, the security bit, if you can see that. But there's 4 screws on the bottom of the case. You take that apart, just like this, so that comes off. The red tab and the spring that goes up underneath it lays just like that. So anyway, take that all apart, set it aside, and you get your battery pack out and set that aside. Make sure on a reassemble that these black foam pieces are towards the battery. Kind of helps to insulate them. And then what I'm going to do is disassemble this. These tabs are popped on and, spot welded on, and this is soldered down. I'm assuming this is like with a CD welder. And then these are just connectors, little electrical connectors that you can then just pop off. Same thing on the other side. I'm gonna pry this off, probably just with a flathead screwdriver, being very careful not to touch this edge and this edge with a metal object at the same time. You'll burn it out. And then again, pop these. They should just come right off. Alright, so I got them all disconnected and this is popped off. You'll notice in the process of doing that, it became pretty mangled. So what I'll do is take these needle nose pliers and just clamp it to straighten them out. I feel this goes without saying for most people, but ensure that you keep the same orientation. As you see on the battery pack, on this side there's 2 sets of batteries that are welded together, and then there's one battery all by itself that has a black, and that's the hot, I'm assuming, because that goes to this red wire off of the circuit board. But that's the hot circuit. And if you notice, even though it's the same kind of orientation as far as 2 batteries connected together, 2 batteries connected together, one by itself, 2 batteries together, 2 batteries together, one by itself. This does not have a black ring around it. This is just a plain silver backing. That's the ground. So you want to make sure that you keep this the same, because when you go to install the new one, this one has a white and a plain silver backing, but it's the same kind of concept. You just want to make sure that you don't reverse your polarity. So I swapped out the old battery pack with the new replacement pack. I'm going to have to remove these pieces of insulation, but I'm going to do so one at a time as I make my connections, and I'll show you how I do that. But basically, I'm going to fold these to where they fit in this electrical connection here, and then these I'm going to solder on the ends with my soldering pencil on this. But I basically just folded that tab and stuck the tab from the battery circuit board in there, and then I'll just solder those 2 pieces together just to get a good secure connection. Okay, so that connection is soldered. Seems pretty solid. Alright, then for these joints, I'm going to cut off the tabs with these diagonal cutters because they're just too long and I don't want this to stick up at the end of the project. And then what I'll do is take these thin diagonal cutters and fold around the edges to make my own little tab to fit securely in here. You can see that there. Alright, now that it's complete, you can see what I'm talking about. You can, those folds in there, and that way I'll be able to take this end and sneak it on there with a little bit of persuasion. Okay, so That's the last connection. I put solder on that and have all these other guys connected. And I've got the ground battery. The ground battery on this side connected to the black ground there. And the white or the hot ring battery connected to the white insulated red wire on the circuit board. So I'll test this and make sure that it's 18 volts. So get our ground wire connected. There you go, everything's lined up right. Now we just have to reassemble and put it back into the case. Alright, once you get that all seated in there, then you just take your spring and place it in this hole. Get your red clip and line that up. Make sure the spring is working. And then just get the top piece of the casing in, and you might have to kind of finagle some of these things on the side. So I'm going to set this camera down in order to do so. Alright, so I got that all put together nice and tight. Then you just need to come back around and put your torque security screws back in. Alright, and then just place it on the charger and make sure it's gonna charge. But also make sure you dispose of your old batteries appropriately. Lowe's and Home Depot, and depending on your city cleanup kind of sewer and trash people, they'll take the old lithium batteries. Don't just throw them in the trash. Thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I helped you out.